Have you ever wondered what the actual difference is between a simple mistake and a full-blown crime? Well, today we are going to break down India's brand new criminal code, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023, or BNS for short, and find out exactly that. Okay, so picture this. You step onto someone else's property. Where is that line? When does it go from just being a simple mistake to being an actual criminal act? Well, India's new criminal code, the BNS, it really gives us a roadmap. So let's follow it. You know, this whole legal puzzle, it really starts with one key piece: criminal trespass. If you can wrap your head around this one concept, you'll see how it unlocks all the more serious crimes down the line. So what are the three things you absolutely need? Right, so it is not just about your feet being in the wrong place. The law is actually way more interested in what's going on inside your head. You have to be there, on property that someone else possesses, with a very specific criminal goal in mind. Lawyers have a fancy term for this: mens rea, the guilty mind. And that right there is the secret sauce that turns a simple act into a crime. And here is where it gets really, really clever. You see, the law is kind of like a chess master, always thinking 2 or 3 moves ahead. It knows that the criminal intent can be there from the very beginning. You know, you walk into a party, all smiles, but you're really just there to pocket some silverware. Or that criminal thought can pop up in the moment. A school official, totally allowed to be in their own school, gets into a huge argument, and then all of a sudden, the idea of assault just takes over. The law is ready for both scenarios. This is where the law gets surprisingly human. Okay, imagine this. Your dog escapes and runs right into your neighbor's pristine garden. You dash in to grab him. Now, you know your neighbor's going to be furious. But is your goal to make him furious? Of course not. It's to get your dog back. And that little distinction is the difference between knowledge and intent. And in the eyes of the BNS, it's the difference between being a panicked pet owner and being a criminal. So, okay, we've got the basics of trespass down. But what happens when we level up? When it's not just a yard, but a whole house? This is where the law puts on its reading glasses and gets very, very specific. So how does a simple trespass escalate into the much more serious crime of housebreaking? Well, it's all about how you get in. The law literally has a checklist of 6 ways. Think of it like a game of how'd you do it? Did you make your own door by knocking a hole in the wall? Did you go full-on spy movie and climb up a drain pipe? Did you force a lock? Or maybe you just shoved a security guard out of the way. Heck, even just opening a door that everyone knows is always bolted shut counts. Any one of those 6, and you've just unlocked a much more serious charge. Okay, so far it's all been about crossing lines and breaking down doors. But what if you never even set foot on the property? What if your crime is one of pure, simple destruction? Well, the law has a word for that too: mischief. And trust me, it is not as playful as it sounds. BNS Section 324 puts it pretty simply. If your goal is to cause wrongful loss or damage, you are committing mischief. It doesn't matter if it's a public park bench or your neighbor's prized garden gnome. And the law sees 2 main ways this can go down. On one hand, you've got the brute force approach, right? Setting a car on fire, smashing a phone, total destruction. But then there's the more cunning approach, a change in situation. You don't actually destroy the object, you just make it useless. You throw a diamond ring into the ocean. It's still a ring, but it's gone. Or you melt a block of ice that was meant to be an ice sculpture. The water's still there, but the art isn't. Both are acts of mischief, but one is a hammer and the other is a scalpel. And you know what? The law is smart. It's already thought of all the excuses. Oh, I was in a riot, I had no idea whose car it was. Doesn't matter. But here's the real mindbender. You can be found guilty of mischief for destroying your own stuff. You set your own car on fire just to get the insurance money? Boom, you've just committed a crime against the insurance company. It's a brilliant little legal checkmate. And now for the oldest excuse in the book. But I was drunk. We've all heard it. But in a court of law, under this new code, does it actually hold up? Let's take a look. The BNS just cuts right through the excuses with a laser. Was your drink spiked? Okay, that's involuntary intoxication and you might have a defense. But did you choose to have one too many? That's voluntary and the law has 0 sympathy. But this is where it gets really, really interesting. And this, right here, is the plot twist that most people never see coming. Section 24, it's not a shield for the person who is drunk. It's a sword for the prosecution. So how does that even work? I mean, trying to prove what's going on in the mind of someone who is blackout drunk is pretty much impossible, right? So the law creates this brilliant shortcut. If you chose to get drunk, the court will just assume you knew what you were doing. It's like a legal fast-forward button straight to a conviction. That whole "I was drunk" defense, it just became the prosecution's star witness. Wow, we've been through a lot here. From a simple step onto a lawn all the way to the mind-bending legal trap of voluntary intoxication. So what is the golden thread that ties all of this together? It really all comes down to this. In the eyes of the law, what you were thinking is just as important as what you did. The what, the act itself, that's just the first chapter. It's the why and the how that really tell the story. The BNS is a powerful reminder that every crime is a story, and you better believe the law is reading every single word. So, we are left with this pretty chilling thought. If the law can now look right past your drunken haze and just assume you knew exactly what you were doing, what does that say about responsibility? It is a really powerful statement from this new code. Your choices have consequences, even the ones you choose to forget. And it really makes you wonder, where does your responsibility truly end?